So we're going to call this lesson one. Lesson one is really about understanding the gift economy, sharing networks. You tell me, how are we to understand this and implement it? And what's part one?
You can think of it as somewhat sort of like mutual aid. These are reciprocal economies. Basically, the entire community is coming in to take care of the needs of the people, and therefore the people take care of your needs. So this goes beyond just monetary value or material goods that you can give. This comes through the way of, wisdom, knowledge, skill sets, things like that. So I like to kind of like as simplest as you could put it. Basically, you're doing work with at what you're doing work for your community without getting paid, but you're also don't have any bills. You know what I mean? So so you're literally just working to help the community. You're not working to pay bills. You're not working to pay a mortgage. You're not working to pay for food. You're not working to pay for water. All of these things are provided through the community together.
Mm,
So if you have a home that needs electrical work and the electrician in the community comes in and they help you out, and then maybe somebody else is sick and you've got the nurse and the doctors that are around and they come and they see the people who are sick. So everybody is just kind of working together and basically function in like you would a regular community, doing the jobs that you need to do to help everybody out, but literally removing the money from that and everybody holding a responsibility to that. And this allows people to do the things that they want to do versus being forced into jobs that they don't want to do because they need money, or having to work three or four jobs and because they're not making enough money, or so forth and so on. So yeah, it seems a lot of people think it's utopic, but in reality, these are systems that worked for thousands and thousands of years before the concept of money ever started. It does get kind of hard to understand it sometimes, just because of the fact that we've been so used to living under capitalism, and it does make it hard to reimagine. But essentially, it's just reciprocal. You're not, going in and um it's the best way to put it. So I may not necessarily get back in return what I'm giving out to that person directly. It may come in another form from somebody else within the community. So, and it may not be a one for one trade. For example, if I need eggs and I go to my neighbor and they have more eggs than they need and they say, "Yeah, I got extra, here you go." And then maybe a few weeks later, they come to me and ask me for a couple cups of milk, right? That's a very basic concept and idea of what that would look like. Now apply that on a larger scale in a neighborhood or a community. Somebody, the teachers are out there helping students learn. You've got people going out there and performing security. Everybody is just doing their part to make the community function together, and everybody's needs are met by each other.
okay. So let's take this to the neighborhood. Well, first, when you say that, there is a an immediate hesitation to saying, well, that idea that, well, I may not have to pay bills is tough because as of right now, in every neighborhood, somebody's going to have to pay the bills. Is there has to be an intermediate, isn't there? Like, before we get to the place the where we can say that every single thing is taken care of. What are there some steps that we can take to get to that place to where we know, okay, now we're at a place where, and we're talking just small groups. We're not talking big yet. This is all, every lesson here is going to be for small groups, neighborhoods and under, right? So neighborhood of 200 people or less, or 200 homes or less, not people, right? I'm guessing is around your normal cul-de-sac neighborhood or your apartment building neighborhood. How do you explain that? What are the steps to get to where it is that place where there's no, the bills are less important to take care of, or the bills are already taken care of? What does that mean?
The first thing is people have to actually get into their communities and know who's in their communities. You have to build relationships with the people
Mm-hmm.
in your communities, build rapport and trust, create events that brings out the community to come and get to know each other, so you can do many mutual aids. It's an idea. For example, in the next couple of months, I'm going to be doing this in my mom's neighborhood. This is the neighborhood I grew up. That's my community, not the community I currently live in, but the currently that's 20 minutes away in my mom's area, right?
Mm-hmm.
um I plan on doing twice a month, where everybody comes to the park that's in our neighborhood, and they can either sign up, put their names on lists, on donate a couple of hours of maybe tutoring or nursing care, or they are really good at making blankets, and they or they're have gardens in their backyards that they can give food. So everybody brings what they are able to give, and you come and you take what you need, and just bringing the neighborhood together and
Wow.
having people get to know each other, and build trust and rapport that way. So when shit does hit the fan, because it's going to, you already have a community that you trust and that you can do things for and with, and you already have that reliance on each other, that you guys are going to be taken care of when bank shut down, or when
Mm-hmm.
all those types of things happen. So the it's just literally getting out there, socializing with your neighbors, getting to know who they are. And again, your community can be anywhere. It may not be the exact community you live in. There are some people who live in the middle of a bunch of MAGA folks, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm
True.
not asking those people to go jump in with the MAGA folks and rebuild a community.
Mm.
But if you have a community that you're safe in, start rebuilding with them. Whatever community you feel safe in, to do that. But you have to get to know each other. You have to get to know people. And if it is the community that you're living in and you want to do that within the community you live in, you have to get to know who your neighbors are. You have to socialize with people. You have to build trust and rapport. And that will also tell you who's not trustworthy, who you don't want to be around, and who you may not be able to trade with, or um, have that reciprocal relationship with too. So it'll kind of actually open your eyes to what you're actually living around and who you're living around.